there?
I think the lighting's good.
I don't know. Let's turn that. Oh, that's better. How is everybody doing tonight? Wait till we get some people in here and try that again. Get a little feedback. And we've got somebody in the chat tonight. There we go. I think I'm good to go. Make sure this is right. Try and keep this.
Hey, Michael, how are you?
Michael Holland, how you doing, bud? So hey, since you're in the chat early, you can help us get this tuned up, huh? How's the light look? Does the lighting look all right?
I think it looks good.
Yeah, it looks all right. Mm-hmm. That's always the trick, making sure the lighting is good. And can you hear us okay? The sound all right?
Oh, my tea.
I think. Oh, it's a mute right there. I guess on the playback, I guess the sound was pretty good right there. So, well, we'll wait for a few more people to pop into the stream here and see if anybody's got any questions for us. It's been a while since we've done a live stream. We've been so busy, and it's just been a crazy year. I'll tell you that. So. All right, let's get that down. Okay, there we go. Now we can see what it looks like. I know this side of me over here is a little bit dark, but there's not a whole lot I can do about that.
You can turn that thing sideways. It's fine.
Yeah, all right. So how you doing down there, Michael? You guys surviving the rain and the snow? Have you done any mountain trips? I know that they got a lot more snow up in the mountains than we did. We currently have about 2 feet of snow on the ground, but it's melting quickly. So that storm that came through and hit Central California and all that, everything south of us, and dumped 5 feet of snow in just a couple of days. We just got the little tail end of it up here, and we got about 6 inches of snow on Friday, so I had to plow. So it wasn't so bad, but. Today, it was sunny, and it was absolutely gorgeous and beautiful. So we are really, really happy that the snow is starting to melt. It's been a long winter. We had snow all the way through November, the beginning of the month. It started snowing at the end of October, which was crazy. And we had some pretty cold days. We had three episodes of below zero. So it was definitely cold up here. And we didn't have a whole lot of snow in January. And then a couple of weeks into February, we only had a couple dustings here and there. And then we got about, I think cumulatively about 6 inches over about 2 weeks in the last part of February. But other than that, it was just a cold January, February. And then this crazy last little blast here in March was crazy. So I guess we set a record on Friday for the most snow in one day in March, is what I'm told. So. Anyway, yeah, we've been watching. Good thing they're not up there in the Central Valley. They, totally wet down there. We were watching some of those communities up there in Kernville and whatnot, and they're evacuating people. I don't envy them at all. So,
hey, Michael, did you get your drone license? I know you were going to school for that. Or one of your classes was for the drone class.
So looking at the delay right there,
mm-hmm.
I just watched you take a drink right there, and almost with only like a half a second delay on the back feed. So 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3. There it is.
You're funny.
2 second delay. So we're watching the feedback just to see what kind of delay there is with the Starlink up here, and it's pretty good. Is she really going to start whining right now? It never fails. Whenever I want to do a video outside or we're inside and trying to be quiet, or I'm trying to edit some videos, she starts whining about something. She wants attention.
Oh, good.
She's like a little kid.
I'm glad you got it.
Nice job. Good job, Michael. So that'll hopefully open up some new career paths for you, I'd imagine, huh? That'll be good. I know it definitely has helped Nathan and his career path. So, well, you guys got any questions for us? Got any questions, Michael, for Olivia? I know that the city girl here has adapted really, really well. She's doing really good. Part of it is the car, the vehicle. We have that 4-wheel drive or all-wheel drive Explorer, and when we first moved up here, she was definitely a little nervous about driving in the snow. And now we get 2 or 3 inches of fresh snow, and I ask her if I need to go plow the road for her so she can get to work, and she's like, "No, I'm fine." I'm like, okay, so I don't have to plow for her all the time unless it gets really deep out there and it gets really sketchy. But today, especially when I plow the road and I get it down to that last inch, and then we get a day full of sun, we have probably almost, I would say, 20 to 30% of the road is melted off to raw dirt. It melts that fast, and it exposes the dirt that quick. It's pretty amazing. So, yeah. So sunny days are nice. We're supposed to get an inch of rain starting tonight, all the way through all day tomorrow, and then 5 to 6 days of sun after that. So we're really looking forward to springtime because it's time. So,
what is it that we've learned about ourselves or about each other? That after almost 30 years of being married, I still love him.
That's a good thing.
Yeah. So.
I didn't scare her away. She didn't go running back to California.
Well, a couple times I almost did.
She almost did a couple times. But I was able to, tie her up and a little bit of duct tape and rope and.
Oh yeah, right.
Right.
You wish.
Yeah, it was definitely an adjustment. Definitely more for her, just missing the kids and not being able to see the kids all the time. But as you know, Michael, I imagine, I think you still live on your own, right? Or you're home?
At home. Mm-hmm.
So if you can just, imagine your parents moving away and just kind of leaving you there, how traumatic would that be for you? It was definitely traumatic for the kids, but it was time. So it was good, even though it was hard for them to do that. And it was hard for her. It was definitely a good time. So, I've discovered that she's a lot even more stubborn than I expected, which is good. She's determined and she has adapted readily. Something really crazy is right now it's 30 degrees outside.
It was 35 when we had lunch outside.
35. We were sitting on the back deck with the sun shining. Granted, the sun is shining on us and we're warm. Mm-hmm. I was in shorts, and she had I
had my my top and then a sweater. It wasn't a sweatshirt. It was just a light sweater. Yeah. Because the sun was so warm. I was fine. And it was 35 degrees. I know. You really learn. You really adapt to or acclimate for sure.
Yeah, we have really acclimated to the weather up here pretty quickly. When it's in the 40s, she came home this last week when it was 40 something in the daytime after work, and she had her window down. I'm like, "What are you doing?" Because it was hot. So, does she need to go out?
No, there's nothing.
There's nothing in there. She just smells we gave Marley some chicken broth in her bowl. She's gonna lick it clean, but it's already clean.
Go out with there. Stay there.
We gave her some chicken broth in her dog food, and so she smells that she already ate her food, and she wants to go there and lick the bowl some more because she thinks there's some more in there. So, anyway, yeah, definitely, Michael. If you can stay at home with mom and dad as long as you can, as long as you can stand it, or as long as they can stand you, it's great, especially in with the prices and the the interest rates and stuff as much as they are, it just makes it really makes it super hard for kids to go out there and buy a house and whatnot. So yeah, definitely take that opportunity. So yeah, if the kids decide they want to come up here, we have plenty of room for them. So I think someday they're talking about doing that, but not at the moment. So it's good. We got anybody else in here tonight? Let's see here.
This is me.
Who else we got in here tonight? We got 3 people in the chat tonight. We have any new subscribers in the chat tonight? Love to answer any questions you guys might have. I hope this wasn't too early. Normally, when I've done live streams in the past, I've done them about 6 o'clock, and I'm going to get online with my kids in a while and have an online chat with my children in a while. So we didn't want to wait too late to do that. So we did a little bit earlier than normal tonight.
On live chat through Minecraft.
Oh, thanks. You're going to throw me under the bus?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's the truth, guys. I'm going to play Minecraft with my kids. I was part of the original, I don't know, million people or whatever that bought the original beta of Minecraft. So I've been playing Minecraft for, gosh, it's been 20 years since. It's been a long time. So, hey, Mr. Matt, how are you, sir? Good to see you guys. Are you guys ready to come home yet?
Hi, Matt.
Yeah. Nice soul patch. Oh, you know what? I just got tired of spending so much time shaving. So I decided just to let it grow, see what it does. Oh, man. We have not bought bread since Thanksgiving. Did you make it for Thanksgiving?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. We haven't bought bread since Thanksgiving from the store.
Sandwich bread. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I've been making our own. So.
Making our own sandwich bread.
Raisin cinnamon.
She just made raisin cinnamon. She put raisin cinnamon sugar in the bread just the other night. And oh my gosh, I almost would rather have a piece of that hot with butter on it than a cookie. It was just absolutely fabulous. Mm-hmm. But I never knew that bread making was so easy. I thought you had to have a bread maker and you have to knead
easy
it.
For you because all you do is eat it.
Well, whatever. But no, I remember my mom making bread and how much time it took to make it, and she'd have to let it rise, and then she would have to knead it and have to get the yeast just right. I mean, it was a big deal. I remember spending a lot of time, and Olivia's got it down. She whips it out and she lets it sit there and rise. Just having that starter that's constantly ready to go was a game changer. You don't have to worry about having yeast and getting the yeast to rise. And so anyway, it's healthy. Oh, what were some of the ingredients? We went to the store and we looked at the ingredient label of a bag of sourdough bread.
It was like 20 ingredients, and all I have is flour, salt, and water.
Yeah.
When I make my sourdough, but when I make my bread, I mean the sandwich sourdough bread, I do add honey in there just for some flavoring, but and softness to add.
You don't put an egg in or a milk or anything?
Milk I do, but no egg.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
It's amazing. English muffins, there's so many ingredients in there. It's just,
And most of those ingredients that they put in the extra stuff it says for preservative or to preserve freshness or whatever, but monoglyphosate, blah, blah, blah. All that stuff in there is to preserve freshness. And it just, What's up, Alan? How are you doing? Thanks for coming in. Yeah, I was trying to it's been a while since I did a live stream, so I was trying to do a preview, and I couldn't see a preview. And I thought by hitting go live that it would give me a preview, and that's what it did before. Is it would, as soon as you go live, it would show you what you were seeing, and then it'd have one more. You had to click one more time to actually really go live, and it actually went real live that time and started recording. I'm like, oh, so I had to delete it and start over. So anyway. Yeah, Matt, when are you guys coming back? Want to know when you guys are going to come back up here and get your house finished up? So that'd be fun. Who else we got in the chat tonight? Any new subscribers in here that want to know? We've got 4 people watching right now. Michael, Matt, Alan. Looking at the chat right there. Yeah, Sunday, it's kind of Sundays at 6 p.m. was usually a pretty good day to do a live stream, but we did a little bit early this time and don't know why. We had a really good YouTube meetup yesterday. Met with some other YouTube channels, and we're talking about how to do better jobs with our thumbnails and whatnot. So, okay, I got you. Anything we need to pray for, Matt? Feel free to drop us a text message. We will we'll pray for you guys. So, yep, yeah. When family is sick, that really puts a damper on everything. So. Well, the sun has finally gone away. We had pure sun out there today, straight sun.
Yeah.
So
We used the crock pot today for 6 hours to cook some chicken. I did 2 loads of laundry. So I try to take advantage of when we have full sun so we don't have to run our generator and all that. So
yeah, I don't know if did you guys see the little trailer on the front side of this video? The YouTube gives you that option to put a trailer on there that you guys can watch while you're waiting for us to go live. And so I put that little crockpot video on there on that little short that I had done. I think it was 17 seconds or something. And because the crockpot is on, right? And you've got to, you're doing chicken or whatever you're doing in there, it's got to be on for 4 to 6 hours. So it's just a constant draw of power. So when you're on grid, you're not going to leave that plugged into just battery power. You got to have a generator running, or you got to have solar, pumping power into it. So on a day like today, excuse me, when the sun was shining, we had the crock pot running, the vacuum going, the washer and dryer both running. I had the computer on, and our batteries stayed at 100%. It's because our solar panels were pumping out so much power that we were able to do all that stuff when it's sunny. So,
and yeah, solar panels are working great.
Yeah, it's amazing. When I got those and I upgraded the solar panel, if you guys haven't seen that video, you guys can click on it. And I'm sure you guys have already seen all that, but that was a big upgrade for us. Oh, and my batteries.
Yeah, that you had to, on your batteries, it was getting stuck at 95. So you said it had to, what do you call it? Regulate it, not regulate it, but
equalize it.
Equalize it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's something I've got to look into, is how to reprogram my inverter. Because when I had the generator running, we used a lot of propane this year because we had so many overcast days. We're talking 5 months of overcast. And even when it was snowing on Friday, I was still getting about between 10 and 20 amps through my solar panels. But other days when the marine layer, when it was overcast, it was so thick that I was only getting a couple of amps in the middle of the day, or the snow was covering it. It wasn't enough to charge the batteries off to 100% before we went to bed. So I was using the generator. We actually had to refill our propane tank once this winter. And we've actually used probably 20% of that brand new. Well, you said it was at 60%?
Just below 60.
So 25% we've gone down 25% since we had that filled up in, what was that, January? I think it was January we had it done.
Yeah, January. Mm-hmm.
So we've blown through quite a bit of propane. So I need to do a couple of things. I need to try and tune up that generator a little bit and try and get it to run a little more efficiently, so it's not using as much propane. But the other thing is, when I have the generator on, the generator is running the power backwards through the inverter, and the inverter is converting it back to 24 volts to charge the batteries. So what happens is, when those batteries start to get close to 100 or 95%, it kind of goes not quite float mode, but it doesn't charge it as hot. It's only given it a few amps to charge. So it takes forever to get from 95 to 100% when I'm using the generator. The solar panels, those are wired directly to the batteries. So those things will do 50, 60, 100 amps until the batteries are topped off, and then the charge controllers stop it. So it gets a hot charge all the way to 100%. So what I did a couple of weeks ago is I actually put the charge controllers into equalize mode. There's a button I can push to actually let the charge controllers continue to pass voltage directly to the batteries, and then it will actually equalize the batteries for, I think it was a half an hour. I think the charge controllers will let it go for. But what happened is, because that voltage is going directly to the batteries, the inverter saw a huge spike in voltage because the batteries were already topped off, and then all of a sudden it saw this like an overcharge, and it went into error mode and it shut off. So we had no power. So the only way I was able to get that thing to work, I had to actually disconnect the inverter and reconnect it to restart it. So I have to learn how to program that inverter so when it sees a higher voltage, it'll allow it to continue on for X amount of minutes or whatever. And then I can use my solar panels to equalize my batteries. Otherwise, I got to let that generator run for like 2 hours. And it's just running and running and running. It's barely putting any charge into those batteries. So anyway, good stuff. Something that we have learned up here being off grid, and we're really glad that we have it. So, oh, let's see here. Oh yeah, Alan, totally. Yeah, we had those small tanks. We had 5 gallon, we had 10 gallons, and we have some 30. I think they're 30-gallon tanks. I forget. I know they're rated in poundage, but they're about 5 feet tall. And when those things are full, holy smokes, they are so heavy. They're probably 120 pounds. And for me to get those things to the store, so we had that 500-gallon tank installed last year, and really glad that we did because it's way more convenient.
Hi, Matt and Brenda.
Thanks, guys, for stopping in. Appreciate it. Look forward to seeing you guys when you get back up here. So yeah, we've had a little learning curve with the solar issue, but I'm really glad that we bought those solar panels when we did. Mm-hmm. The batteries, I thought maybe were really old, and I found out that they're really only about 6 years old. So it's going to be 5 years this May that we bought this place, and then it'll be 2 years this June that we moved in full time. Mm-hmm. So 5 years, and then there was a year, and then so the lady that built the house, she had basically put brand new batteries in about 2 years before we bought it. So it's going to be probably almost 7 years. And those batteries are supposed to last anywhere from 10 to 12 years if you take care of them. So, but you do have to equalize. And I did find out that you have to equalize them a lot. When you're using them as much as we are, you have to equalize them a lot sooner or a lot more often than I thought. So that's a different issue. So we have to make sure to do that. Well, I was told once a month. I was doing it twice a year. And it wasn't enough because our inverter actually shut off. Our batteries were only at 85%. And all of a sudden we had no power. I'm like, what's going on here? Mm-hmm. And I discovered I had to go equalize the batteries. So anyway, we'll do a video on that and explain to everybody what we have to do. It's good stuff, fun stuff, being off grid. We've been warm all winter long.
Actually, kind of hot.
Yeah.
It's been crazy ever since you took out the
damper.
The damper on the stove. It's been really warm upstairs. We're just, not even using the blankets throughout the night, and we don't even stoke the fire in the middle of the night.
Yeah, we've stopped when it's in the 30s at night. We'll set a fire when we go to bed, and we lay there and sweat for 4 or 5 hours. And then in the middle of the morning, 2 or 3 in the morning, it's finally cooled off enough that we can actually sleep comfortably. So mm-hmm. we're still learning how to regulate the heat. And if you guys haven't seen that flue fire video I did, you guys can go see what I'm talking about. We took the damper out, and that was completely changed the heating in this place. Mm-hmm. It was a good stove, but man, I discovered it wasn't running as efficiently as it could. So, yeah. That was definitely an eye opener, taking that damper out of the stove. And I had some pretty interesting comments online. There's a lot of people out there that think that you have to have a damper. The modern stoves they don't come with a damper. They have multiple burn chambers in them. A lot of people still want to put a damper in because they think if something's going to go wrong, and say they have a flue fire or they need to smother the fire or whatever, that they need to have a damper to do that. Yeah, I can see that. I could see that's the only reason why I could see anybody needing to put a damper in with a modern stove. Otherwise, as far as the efficiency goes, my stove was not burning as efficiently as it's supposed to because my damper was stuck almost closed. I'll have less creosote buildup now because I have more heat going up the pipe. And a lot of people, it's kind of counterintuitive to think that, well, you don't want all the heat going up the pipe. Well, you do. You don't want all the heat, but you want a certain amount of heat going up the pipe. Creosote, which is what causes flue fires, the reason creosote builds on pipes is because the gases that aren't burned are getting cool, and they're condensing. It's condensation. It's unburned wood gas condensation is what creosote is, and it's flammable. So if your flue is not hot enough, that stuff is sticking to the sides of your flue pipes, and as it starts to stick, it starts to build up, and then it starts to kind of domino effect, and it starts building up more and more. So you need to have enough heat to carry that stuff out. But if your stove is burning efficiently, it's going to be burning those gases, and you're going to have a minimum of unburned wood gases going up in your flue. But what does go up needs to go all the way out. So you need to have a good draft going through your flue pipe. And I had somebody who was really disagreeing. No, you need to have a damper and da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, well, it's not what I have learned. And I've talked to some professionals. I've researched it online. And I can tell you this, that our stove is burning way more efficiently. I'm able to regulate the fire by using the air inlet on the bottom. So before we go to bed at night, we have a nice hot bed of coals, and I'll put a couple of big chunks of wood, maybe a couple of energy logs in there, and I will close off the air so it doesn't have enough air to burn, so the fire's not roaring, but it's just slowly burning, but it's still burning hot enough. And because it has a secondary burn chamber, those gases are burning efficiently, and I still have enough heat going through the flue. And then I'll come back in 6 hours, and I still have hot coals in there, and I can put some more wood on there. It's absolutely amazing. I wasn't getting more than about 4, maybe 5 hours out of it because it wasn't burning efficiently. I was smothering the fire the whole time is what I was doing. So I dumped out, when I cleaned my flue, I had a gallon of creosote that I pulled out of there, and I just cleaned that thing this last August before the burn season. So it's burning way more efficiently. It's drafting good. I don't have any smoke coming out of it anymore. The ash is more fine. I'm left with more pure fine ash than before I had chunks. So just amazing. So anyway, if you guys haven't seen that flue fire thing, if anybody has a stove, definitely go check it out. Yeah, burning low temperatures, definitely more creosote for sure. It makes that's a good question, Alan. I don't know how much wood I would have burned. I know that we probably had about 5 to 6 cords. We're down to our last
2
half cord. We're at about a half cord right now.
No, we're not.
We're at 2/3 of the cord.
We have like over
we have the one row that's all the way to the ceiling, which is like 6 feet tall.
all the way across.
Yeah, that's 12 feet. So
like 1.5.
No, I just took out the second row.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we're down to the very last row against the back. We are down to maybe a cord. So we have burned about a cord a month since we started burning in November when things were getting really cold. We had people that were telling us that we were going to need 10 cords of wood. And I didn't agree with that. We didn't burn that much last year because it wasn't quite of a cold winter, but what does that mean? Why do you do that to me?
Because I have to. I have to keep you on track.
She's keeping me on track, keeping me accountable. Yeah, we burn maybe a quart a month. I think now with the way it's burning more efficiently now, we might be able to decrease that. I had somebody say that as soon as I took my damper out that I'd probably be burning about 5% more. I'm going to say I've probably burned about 10% less. It seems to be putting out more heat and it's lasting longer.
Mm-hmm.
On those really cold nights, I would get up at 2 o'clock in the morning and stoke the fire, and the wood was gone. And then at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm stoking the fire again. So I was putting wood in 3 times a night. Now we're doing it 1 time a night. It's just crazy how much better it's working. Mm-hmm. So, well, our learning curve has been pretty amazing. I have a fantastic partner here that has been determined, and she is raring to go on the garden. So we've got the starts in the window, and as soon as the snow melts enough, we're going to get that fence put up for the garden. We'll let you guys watch that process. That'll be fun. We got to build a chicken coop. We got to get those things done like ASAP this spring. So we got some big projects coming up, and we'll bring you guys along for that. So good stuff. 7 people were watching. Thanks, guys, for coming in and checking us out and for participating in the chat. And we'll try and do this a little more on the regular side. And appreciate you guys watching and leaving comments on the videos. And we'll see you guys again. Maybe we'll come back next week. We'll see. Yeah. See what the schedule does. So thanks, you guys, for watching and stopping in. Guys. Check us out. So you guys have a good night.
Good night.